Okay, welcome everyone. Hare Krishna to all of you. So let us start with this wonderful pastime. This is a very intense pastime, and there is so much to learn. And the more we chant this pastime, the more lessons we get. Such an interesting pastime. That is Sati Devi quitting her body, right? So just to begin with, first of all, we saw that the Srimad Bhagavatam, we are in the canto number 4. So canto number 1 and 2 are considered as the two lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are like the lotus feet of the Lord. They are like shelter. So whenever we are in danger, we think about the lotus feet of the Lord. So whenever you are in difficulty, don't think about Lord's face. Think about his feet. So Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayo. Ambarish Maharaj also used to meditate upon the feet of Krishna. So Krishna's feet, you should try to remember. Okay, they are the shelter for every living entity. Right, so these are the two first cantos are so important, and this third and the fourth cantos correspond to the Supreme Lord's thighs, right? The two thighs of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So each and every chapter or a canto is like the limb of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is not different from Krishna, Srimad Bhagavatam. So when we are chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, associating with the devotees, or when we go to these places of Lord Krishna, or when we read Srimad Bhagavatam, we are associating with Krishna directly. There is no difference between Krishna and Srimad Bhagavatam. Absolutely no difference. They're just the same. So this third canto, we saw different topics like Sarga and Visarga. The conversation between Vidura and Maitreya was very fascinating. So we heard about the secrets of the universe, how the universe was created, who has created the universe, what is the universe composed of, who is maintaining this universe, all these kind of interesting things we saw. And we also saw the subcreation by Lord Brahma and his sons, that the embryology, right? We saw that. And we saw Bhakti Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and so many things like the material world and the hellish planet description also we saw, right? And we saw the pastimes of Lord Varaha, right? And we saw description of Vaikuntha Loka and the household life of Kardama Muni and Devahuti. And we saw the wonderful teachings of Kapila Muni. Kapila is the incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So fourth canto, right now we are in the fourth canto. It's very rich and very wonderful. It has amazing stories of Lord Shiva, Suniti, Dhruva, Narada, Anga, Prithu, Prachetas, extraordinary examples of devotional service, right? So we see that unfavorable attitude in devotional service shown by Daksha, Suruchi, Vena, Indra, and Prachinabai. So Daksha is a negative example of bhakti. It's not a positive example. So that's what we are seeing. So it all starts with the genealogical table of daughters of Manu, right? So Manu is the first Manu, Swayambhuva Manu and Shatarupa. They are the children of Lord Brahma, and they have volunteered to increase the population of the universe, right? So this is actually an interesting, it's a divine work, right? To increase the population of the world is actually an important work. That Supreme Personality of Godhead wants that the material world is filled with souls, because if the material world has so many souls, they will get a chance of human form of life. If they get the human form of life or animal form of life, they will get a chance to remove their sins, right? And they will be able to enjoy the material world or suffer in the material world as they wanted it. And if they're very fortunate, Brahmande Brahmite Kono Bhagyavana Jiva Guru Krishna Kripa Paya Bhakti Lata Bija. If they're very fortunate, all these living entities who are given this chance in this earthly planet, they get the chance that they can associate with a guru, sadhu, right? The guru. And Kono Bhagyavana Jiva, very fortunate living entity can get a guru. Guru Krishna Kripa Paya. And by the mercy of Krishna and Guru, by the mercy of Guru, he will get Krishna. By the mercy of Krishna, he will get a Guru. And by mercy of Guru and Krishna, he will get Bhakti Lata Bija. That is like the seed of the devotional service. The devotional service will start. So that is the secret of the human form of existence. As far as the Vedas are concerned, this is the best. There is no contesting to it. The best is to be a devotee. The best is to come to devotional service for all the living entities. So, you see so many living entities are there around you, mosquitoes. And if you see, 75% of the earth is filled with water. And there are so many animals in the water, right? These aquatics. All these aquatics are there. On the land also, there are 4-legged and 100-legged centipede, this, that. So many worms, different animals are there. Best among them is like the 4-legged animals. Better is like the 2-legged animals. Better is the human being. Better than that is those people who are following Sanatana Dharma or the Hindus. So among those so-called Hindus also, those people, Sanatana Dharma, who are really following Dharma, they are better. Not simply just a naam ke vaste rubber stamp Hindu, finish. Not enough. Better is somebody who is really following Sanatana. Better than that is somebody who is like the Brahmana. Brahmana is better. Better than that is someone who knows the knowledge of the self, that I am not the body. Better than the person who knows the knowledge of the self is person who has realized it. And better than those who have realized the self are the pure devotees of Krishna. So in all the gradations of life, starting from the lowest form of aquatic, the highest is Vaishnava. That is a pure devotee. So that is the highest. There is nothing better than that. So to get that chance to become a Vaishnava, to become a pure devotee, is the purpose of human form of life. The purpose of human form of life is to know how to love God. So who will teach that? Guru will teach them. So Swayambhuva Manu and Shatarupa, therefore they have volunteered to increase the population on the earth. Let there be so much of population so that, it's like a funnel. Funnel. Those of you who understand a marketing funnel is like, see, it's less like if there is a shop, many people will see the advertisement and some people will come outside the shop and only some people will come inside the shop. Some people will check out the products that you're offering. Some people will bill it, right? So out of the people who have seen the ad to those people who have bought the product, it's like a funnel. It's like coming down, down, down. So like that, all the living entities, there are so many uncountable living entities, but the funnel is coming down, right? Animals to humans, humans to those people who understand the self, to self-realized souls, to the devotees of Lord Krishna. So that's like the end of the funnel. So that's where this is the cream which is going back to God. This cream among all the living entities is going back to Godhead. This is the funnel, right? So that's the thing. So Swayambhuva Manu. So, but if this funnel is not there, then there is no chance. See, the more the number of people towards the end, the more the chances of getting at the narrower end. You see, that means the more number of people who see the ad, more chances of them buying the product. So if the number of people who are just watching the ad only is 10, number of people who will buy the product will be 0 or 1. Similarly, if the living entities are less, number of pure devotees and those people who will be able to go back to Godhead will be obviously much lesser, much lower opportunity. So we want to maximize this first. Let there be many living entities, so many animals, everything. Then they have chance, step by step evolution, going back to Godhead. Right? So, but a Vaishnava, pure devotee, can even deliver the animals also. That is extraordinary case of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When he went to Jharikanda forest, he danced there. And when he danced, all the animals started dancing. And once there was a dog of one of the devotee named Shivananda Sena. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu fed some prasadam for the dog. And the next day it was not seen. They asked, where is the dog? He said, it's gone back to Godhead. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can deliver a dog even to God, back to Godhead. Right? But generally it's not possible that a dog can go back to Godhead. Right? So similarly, once I heard one story, Ramanujacharya, once he was feeding in the water, he was washing his hands. Some fishes ate whatever came from his hand and they got a Vaikuntha form and they went back to Godhead. And the devotees asked, how is it possible? We are also eating the remnants, but we are not able to get the Vaikuntha form, 400 form. But the fishes have got the 400 form in front of us and they're going back. Ramanujacharya said, you don't have faith. The fishes don't have, they have the faith, but you don't have the faith in Guru. That's why you're not getting this Vaikuntha form, right? So yes, the daughters of Shatarupa and Swayambhuva Manu are Devahuti, Akuti, Prasuti, Uttanapada, and Priyavrata. Okay. So, Kardama Muni, Ruchi. So, Devahuti was married to Kardama Prajapati, Akuti was married to Ruchi, Prasuti was married to Daksha Prajapati, Uttanapada was married to Suruchi and Suniti, Priyavrata was married to Barhishmati. Right? So that's how this happened. So right now we are in the chapter number 2. Right? Excuse me. Yeah. So then we see that different type of people were born. Manu was born, and the sons of Manu were born. The demigods were born, and the rishis were born, and the Amshavataras were born. And we saw the genealogical line of Devahuti. How Devahuti, right? From her who came? Kala, Anasuya, Shraddha, Gati, Kriya, like that we saw. And we saw the story of Atri Muni, etc. And then we came to the story of Daksha curses Lord Shiva. This is a very intense story, very interesting story. So what happens is, yes. So once upon a time, there was a sacrifice that was going on. Let me open the Bhagavatam here. Database. Yes. Yeah, so Vidura had got this question and he asked that, okay, Daksha, he is very affectionate towards daughter and he is envious of Lord Shiva, who is best among the gentle people. Why did he neglect his daughter Sati? Right? And Lord Shiva is the spiritual master of the entire world and he's a very peaceful personality and he's very satisfied within himself. Then how did Daksha become inimical towards Shiva? Lord Shiva is a very peaceful personality. He doesn't get inimical towards anyone. See, to those people who are very, very mischievous, he punishes them. See, those people who are punished by Lord Shiva are those people who are like miscreants or completely very, very mischievous demons. Generally, he is a very, very peaceful personality. So that's why he asked, Vidura is inquiring to Maitreya, that how is it that son-in-law and father-in-law have fought so much? That Sati Devi had to give up her life, right? So then start saying that actually once upon a time there was all the leaders of the universe started to do a great sacrifice where all the great sages, philosophers, demigods, fire gods, everybody assembled there. So this was the time. This is not 100 years ago or 1,000 years ago. This is many, 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 many thousand years ago. Right? This is like some lakhs of years ago. We are talking about like completely different yuga. Right, completely different yuga itself, right? So completely different ages, right? So that's what is happening here. So then what happened? So fire sacrifices used to happen in those days because fire sacrifices are always a part of the dharma, right? Yajna arthat karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha. Krishna has recommended in Bhagavad Gita that yajna must be performed. The fire sacrifices must be performed. So yajna, dana, tapa must never be given up. The fire sacrifice must never be given up. Donation, charity must never be given up. Austerity, these three things must never be given up because they purify us. What is the purpose of yajna or a fire sacrifice? Purification. So vivaha is also one yajna, marriage. Some people ask, so why do we want to marry? It is for purification. Wedding is a purification. It is a purificatory rite performed. So it is an opportunity for purification. That is yajna, vivaha yajna. So this yajna must be performed. All these varnashrama dharma, that is performing it is called as a pravritti marga. Giving up the varnashrama dharma is called as sannyasa. Means giving up the process or varnashrama dharma of getting married, getting children. This is all varnashrama. The giving up is called as sannyasa. But sannyasa also has different 3 levels of sannyasa. Sattva-guna sannyasa, Rajoguna sannyasa, Tamoguna sannyasa. So actually, Sattva-guna sannyasa is somebody who is given up the family life out of knowledge. That is Sattva-guna sannyasa. What is the example? The four Kumaras. The four Kumaras, when they were born, they were 5-year-old boys. And when Lord Brahma said, you please get married and, generate population, right? Increase the population. They said, no, we are fully in complete knowledge of the self. So in that knowledge, we do not want to get married. So this is called sannyasa in Sattva-guna. So in complete self-realization, self-knowledge. Rajoguna sannyasa is for bodily comfort. So for my comfort, I want to give up my duty. That is called as a Rajasika sannyasa. And Rajasika sannyasa or Rajoguna leads to misery. It does not lead to happiness. It is not the Shastra. Satvika sannyasa is good. Rajasika sannyasa and Tamasika sannyasa are bad. That is what happens when Arjuna asks Krishna, which one is better? Sannyasa or working in devotional service? Krishna says that they are both giving the same result, but actually working in devotional service, that is getting married, having children, etc., and being in devotional service is better than sannyasa. Because being a sannyasi and not engaged in Krishna consciousness gives a lot of misery. Dukkham aptum ayogataha. Sannyasastu mahabaho. That is, if you take sannyasa, Krishna says, you become a sannyasi, but you are not Krishna conscious, then you will simply suffer all your life. So therefore, that is not recommended by Krishna. Krishna says to Arjuna, do your duty in Krishna consciousness. And when Arjuna becomes very, very, very elevated in knowledge, so much elevated that he is naturally detached from everything, at that time he will anyways come out of it. Just like how Arjuna, when Krishna left the whole planet, worldly planet Krishna left, at that time Yudhishthira Maharaj and all the 5 brothers, they just untied their hair and they walked like madmen outside their house. They just went. That is sannyasa. So it's in the complete knowledge, complete renunciation. That is the final stage. Right? So until that kind of a stage is attained, it is called as Phalgu Vairagya. Phalgu Vairagya means it is not a complete renunciation. So that is what is happening here, that the fire sacrifice has been happening here. So fire sacrifice is happening and the population for increasing here, the Prajapati. This Daksha is a Prajapati. Prajapati means one who is meant for increasing the population of the world. So yes, so they were performing this wonderful fire sacrifice and everybody assembled there and all the demigods were there and Lord Brahma was there. Everybody sat down. Brahma was sitting down very nicely. And Daksha, he came inside walking. He was very proud because he was having a very big position. See, position makes us proud, right? So when he saw Lord Shiva, who was his son-in-law, because he married his daughter Sati Devi to Lord Shiva. Sati was married to Lord Shiva. So therefore, he considered Lord Shiva to be an ordinary person or a human being. So that was a mistake, that he did not understand the position of Lord Shiva. So just like there are so many daughters here, Swaha was married to Agni, 13 daughters were married to Dharma, and Swadha was married to Pitas, and Sati Devi was married to Shiva. And she had no children. Sati Devi had no children. Right? So then what happened? So he was about to sit down, but then he saw that Lord Shiva did not get up. And there's a reason why Lord Shiva did not get up. We'll get to know later. And then he started to blaspheme Lord Shiva right there. Actually, in the assembly, we must never blaspheme a gentle person or a sadhu. And what to speak about Lord Shiva? Lord Shiva is Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambho. He is the foremost among the Vaishnavas. Actually, Lord Shiva's insult is a Vaishnava's insult. So therefore, a Vaishnava must never be insulted or blasphemed, because that is the worst kind of blasphemy that is possible. So then, Daksha, he started to speak that Lord Shiva has spoiled the name and fame of the governors of the universe and has polluted the path of gentle manners because he is shameless He does not know how to act. And he has already accepted himself as my subordinate by marrying my daughter in the presence of fire and Brahmanas. He has married my daughter who is equal to Gayatri, but has pretended to be just like an honest person. And he starts to speak very bad words and starts to say that, Lord Shiva's eyes are like that of monkey. And yet he married my daughter whose eyes are so beautiful. And he did not even receive me and take me, welcome me with sweet words. And actually, I didn't want to marry this person. Because Lord Shiva, externally, he appears to be a heretic. Heretic means somebody who has given up the principles of Veda is called as a heretic. Who is a heretic? Heretic is a person who has given up the principle of Veda. So what are the symptoms of a heretic? A heretic, he will be, first of all, not wearing a proper dress. Right? He will not wear a proper dress. And he will be smearing ashes on the body. Actually, smearing of the holy ashes also is heretic. Actually, the Tripundara, as far as the Padma Purana is concerned, okay, I'm not telling from my words. So, like putting like this, okay, that is heretic. It's not my words. This is what Lord Shiva said in Padma Purana. He said that this is the symptom of a heretic. That it's almost like they are not the believers. Actually, they don't believe in Vedas. They say that they are the believers of Vedas, but Padma Purana, Lord Shiva says, such people are heretics. Those people who are wearing the Tripundara. That's what is being said. So, he's wearing the holy ashes and he's having a skull necklace in his hand. So, he's wearing a necklace of skulls. So, again, this is also a symptom of heretic because a person who is following the Vedic culture, first principle is Shaucha, cleanliness. First of all, we should take bath multiple times a day, at least 2 times a day. We must take bath and wear fresh clothes every day. Fresh clothes every day. After every bath, we should wear fresh clothes and sit down. Right? So, but Lord Shiva, he doesn't appear like that. He appears to be like a heretic. He's always in the crematorium wearing the skulls. And actually, a Vedic person following the Vedic Dharma must be bathing and they must put the Urdhva Pundara. Very nicely put the Urdhva Pundara, the feet of lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. Right? And perform the different kind of fire sacrifices, different kind of yajna, dharma, karma, all these rituals which are prescribed as per his the varna and ashrama, they must be performed. But Lord Shiva, he does not perform all this. All the time he is meditating. And he's sitting in a crematorium or he's sitting in a forest and he's meditating. So nobody is able to understand. It is very mysterious. When we see Lord Shiva, we don't understand what he is doing. So that is because actually a Vaishnava is very mysterious. A Vaishnava is very mysterious. What he does, we cannot understand. Actually, what Lord Shiva is doing, he says very clearly in Bhagavatam that who I meditate upon? I meditate upon Sankarshana. He said very clearly that I meditate upon Sankarshana. We see that picture, Adi Yogi, like Lord Shiva putting like this. Who is he meditating upon? Not as these people think that he's meditating on nothing. Absolutely wrong. Lord Shiva himself is saying that I meditate upon Sankarshana. So he's meditating upon Sankarshana and he's always chanting the names of Krishna and Rama. Krishna and Rama so much that he's called as Neelakanta. One of the reasons why he has got the throat as blue is because he has drunk the hala poison and it is being here. He stopped it here. Another reason is it's always chanting the names of Krishna, who is blue in color. And by chanting his name so much that his throat has become blue. So that is another reason why he is Neelakanta. So it is difficult to understand his position, what he is doing. Why is he so detached? What are his thinking? What is his desire? What is Lord Shiva's desire? Actually, Lord Shiva's desire will be revealed in Bhagavatam. What is Lord Shiva's desire? He reveals it in his lectures to Parvati Devi. To Parvati Devi, the instruction he gave is Sri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Mano Rame Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanane. So Lord Shiva wants Parvati Devi to chant the names of Rama, to chant the names of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the instruction of Lord Shiva. That is his heart. Right? In his heart is Radha and Krishna. So therefore, he says that very clearly. When we read Bhagavata, we will understand what is the heart of Lord Shiva. So, but a common man does not understand who he is, what he is doing, right? So therefore, Daksha is actually giving a lot of rebuke and he's saying, you are impure person. I have unnecessarily given you my daughter, right? It's almost like, just like teaching the Vedas to a Shudra, because you are just like how teaching the message of the Vedas is not suitable for a Shudra who is in Tamoguna. Similarly, my daughter is not suitable to be married to you. Like that, he's giving. And he's saying that you live in a filthy place, crematorium, and your company is ghosts and demons. And you're going like a naked man, sometimes laughing, crying, with crematorium ash on your body. You're not even bathing regularly or not putting ornaments on your body. Actually, as per the Vedic culture, we must bath regularly and we must put ornaments on our body. Golden ornaments must be worn in the body. But Lord Shiva, he is not wearing any ornaments nor dress. He is putting the ashes from the crematorium. Therefore, he's saying that, he's actually in the name, he's Lord Shiva. Shiva means auspicious, but actually he's not. He's like the very mad person. Like that, he's, giving blasphemy. And he's telling actually people who are in the gross mode of ignorance, he's their leader. Because they are crazy beings. All these ghosts and hobgoblins, they are attracted to Lord Shiva. Like that, he's telling, and he has given. And he's telling, actually, Brahma requested me, or else I have not given my chaste daughter to him. Because he is filled with so many nasty things. So after hearing so many words also, Lord Shiva is not even standing up and rebuking. So this we must appreciate. So this is the first lesson that we should learn. That is, Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahai. Trunadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahai. That means one must think of oneself as to be lower than a straw of grass. Right? And one must be very tolerant. One must be very tolerant like the tree. Right? So in that mentality, we can chant the names of Krishna. So, Amanina Manadena Kirtanaya Sadahari means we must be ready to give respect, not receive respect. So, even if somebody does not give me respect, it's okay, but I will give you respect. So, that is the mood in which we should do Krishna consciousness. Actually, this is the toughest instruction of Krishna consciousness. This is the toughest instruction. It sounds very simple, but you try it, it is very, 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 very tough. But Lord Shiva is practically demonstrating it. That so many bad words, any sane person would have stood up and retaliated. Any person. In the first line itself, we will get very furious. So many words Daksha has used, right? But Lord Shiva is sitting very silently. So here what is happening is, then Daksha was just sitting there. Daksha saw Lord Shiva and he started cursing. It was not even enough. So he started to curse and started to say that, first of all, Lord Shiva shall not have a share in the fire sacrifice. The first curse. That everybody has a share in the sacrifice, but Lord Shiva will not have share. Right? And then everybody started to say, don't do that. He's Lord Shiva. No. But he was like, he just very angrily, he went away. He went back to his home. He was still not happy. Second lesson. An angry man can never be pacified. You see, he did the scolding and he did the cursing also. What did Lord Shiva do? He did not even retaliate. So the best way to retaliate is not to answer. And what happens is, when an angry person scolds, the scolding, the person's pious credit is given to the other person. So if one person is scolding another person is not retaliating, all the pious credit of the person number one who is scolding will be gone to the person number two. So actually, Daksha is sent away all his pious activities to Lord Shiva by scolding him. But Lord Shiva did not retaliate. But look at Daksha, he is not even satisfied. Anger can never be satisfied. Anger cannot be satisfied by trying to fulfill it. Lesson number 3. That, if you're angry, don't think that by cursing or scolding, your anger will come down. It may even increase. So it is better to stop it right there. And that is the lesson number 3. And then what happened? And now that the disturbance has happened in the thing, Lord Shiva followers are there along with Shiva. Nandishwara, who was one of the principal associates of Lord Shiva, he became extremely angry. And he was ready to curse Daksha and all the Brahmanas who had tolerated Daksha's cursing of Shiva in harsh words. So here is the lesson number 4. That is, that in an assembly, when something is going wrong, you should stand up and say, this is wrong. So this is wrong. So in an assembly, when something is going wrong, it should be pointed out. Just that when it is called as Asat Sabha. Asat Sabha means just like how Draupadi was being disrobed and people were just keeping silent there. Right? Therefore, by doing that, actually, they have lost all their life, pious credit. So it's not auspicious. It's not good. So in an assembly, we should always speak the truth. In a meeting, we should speak the truth. We should only say what is correct. We should not tell anything which is lie. So that is the lesson number 4. That, the Brahmanas there, they tolerated Daksha's cursing because they were very scared of Daksha. So that is a mistake. So therefore, Nandi, he immediately started cursing. What did he say? That the most important personality, anybody who has accepted Daksha as very important and neglected Lord Shiva, right? He will be bereft of transcendental knowledge. This is the first curse towards the Brahmanas. The Brahmanas are Karma Kandiya Brahmanas. The people who follow Daksha Prajapati are Karma Kandiya. Karma Kandiya means they are doing ritualistic practice. Ritualistic practice means just fire sacrifice and they want to go to heavenly planets to enjoy. Heavenly planets to enjoy. So such people are very lowest among the transcendentalists. They are not even transcendentalists. They are karma kandis. So they are very low. So he said such a kind of Brahmins they are bereft of transcendental knowledge. So this is the curse that has gone to all the Brahmanas. So this is the current situation of all the Brahmanas, that they lack transcendental knowledge. They do not have any transcendental knowledge. They only know how to do ritualistic activities. Because this is the curse. Means anybody who is not able to understand, who is not a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and still just for the namesake is a Brahmana, his transcendental knowledge will be zero. He can tell thousands of mantras, talk some blabbering talks, but he will never be able to understand Jnana that we are talking. Bhagavad Gita Jnana, Atma Jnana, nothing. Transcendental knowledge, zero. So then he says, such people, they will be attached to fruitive activities. And they will be attracted to superficial explanation of Vedas. And they will be pretentiously religious. So this is also the monistic philosophy also comes here. Monistic philosophy, thinking that, I am God, you are God, everybody is God, the fruit vendor is God, dog is God. This kind of philosophers, they are also pretentious religious house life they are doing. Right? Actually, they are not interested in any kind of philosophy. They like the philosophy of monism because it is boosting their ego. If we say that you are the servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it sounds very bad, pathetic. Am I a servant? No, I am the master. If you say you are equal to Supreme Personality of Godhead, yes, this is correct. Because your mindset is like. So, a person who has a humble mindset will accept, yes, I am the servant of God. But a person who is very, very egoistic, he will say, yes, I am equal to God. I can become God one day. Yes, this is the correct philosophy. I will become God and I will surpass him. Give me that process. This is wrong. So, and he says, Daksha has accepted that body is all in all. Therefore, he has forgotten the Vishnu Pada or the Vishnu Gati and is attached to sex life. And therefore, he will get the face of a goat. His face will become like a goat. Because he has forgotten the Vishnu Pada. So therefore, here, this is Nandishvara who is speaking. Nandi is the primary associate of Lord Shiva. So he is saying that because he has forgotten about Krishna, right? He has forgotten about Krishna, he will become a goat, right? And he says that those who have become as dull as matter by cultivating materialistic education and intelligence are recently involved in fruitive activities. They will continue in the cycle of repeated birth and death. Those people who are insulting Lord Shiva. So this material knowledge, okay, this is also another lesson number 5, is that material knowledge is not going to take us outside the birth and death cycle. So only spiritual knowledge can take us back to Godhead outside this circle of birth and death. Material knowledge, we may be PhD or postdoctorate, or we may have 10 postdoctorates from Harvard and all the top universities, but still it cannot take us out of the cycle of repeated birth and death. And then he says, may those who are envious of Lord Shiva be attracted by flowery language of enchanted Vedic promises become dull and remain attached to fruitive activity. So actually, those people who are envious of Lord Shiva, they will be attached to the Vedic fruitive activities. Fruitive activities, karma kanda. And they will just simply be namesake beggars. They will don't know what to eat, what not to eat. They will acquire money begging door from door simply for the satisfaction of the body. So actually, this is the situation of the current day Brahmanas, right? That they order from Swiggy here and there. They don't know what should be eaten, what should not be eaten. So they go and eat on the street also, street food, anything they will go and eat. Actually, it is not supposed to be like that. They're supposed to be following strictly the rules given in the Vedas, but they will not follow, right? Because this is the curse. Right? Because their education, austerity, woes are only for the purpose of maintaining the body. They just simply want to maintain the body. And Bhrigu, he became very angry that he was the head of that Brahmanas there. Because the Brahmanas were insulted. And then he said, actually, whoever takes the vote to satisfy Lord Shiva will become an atheist. And he will be diverted from transcendental scriptural injections. So actually, let us see the purport. Here Prabhupada is writing that it is sometimes see that Lord Shiva devotees imitate the characteristics of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva drank an ocean of poison, therefore they try to drink ganja, marijuana. Right? This is called as the Satshastra Paripantinaha, opposition of the conclusion of the Shastra. Right? So this is the philosophy of Mayavada Asat Shastram, Mayavadam Asat Shastram, they are following. Right? That is the Advaita or the Mayavada philosophy they are following. Actually, that is supposed to be a very, very, Asat Shastra. It's a wrong doctrine. It is obviously not correct. It's a heretic philosophy. And to believe that I am equal to the Supreme Lord, from whom all the universes are coming, who is maintaining the universes, and unto whom all the universes are getting destroyed, if I am thinking that I shall become equal to him or surpass him, this is called hereticism or atheism. This is the highest form of offense for Lord Vishnu actually. Means without knowing who is Lord, we are actually thinking that I will become equal to God. So this is wrong. So that is why we see that there are so many people, the so-called followers of Lord Shiva, we see they are wearing they don't wear any dress, and they are taking ganja, drinking like that, and they do some abominable activities like eating the dead bodies which are found. So they do so many abominable activities which we cannot even discuss. So therefore, the curse is that those people who will take the vote to satisfy Lord Shiva, they will become atheists and they'll be diverted from the spiritual injection. And those who vote to worship Lord Shiva are so foolish that they imitate him by keeping long hair on their head. And when initiated into the worship of Lord Shiva, they prefer to live on wine, flesh, and other things. So this is actually a fact. We are actually able to see so many people in the North India, etc. They keep so much of big hair. They'll put very, very big hair, matted hair, and they will look very, very abominable actually. So it's actually a curse. They're so foolish, actually said. And they will drink wine, flesh, and anything they will eat. And then he says, since you blaspheme the Vedas and the Brahmanas who are the followers of the Vedic principle, it is understood that you have taken the doctrine of atheism. And he's saying this is not correct. The principle of the Vedas and the Brahmanas is the principle of whatever is the Krishna consciousness, is the actual principle of the Vedas and the Brahmanas. Krishna consciousness, right? That's why Krishna is called as Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmanahita Cha Jagadittaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namah. Brahmanya Devaya means the God of the Brahmanas.
Prabhuji, I have one doubt here.
Yes, Mataji.
the Bhrigu Maharaj is representing the Brahmanas, no?
Yes, Bhrigu Muni is representing the Brahmanas. Yes.
So he is there in the yajna ceremony.
Yes, he is there.
Then if he knows the laws of what Supreme Personality has laid, he should have stood towards Shiva. No, why he
Yeah,
didn't open
that's
his
what
mouth?
he did a mistake. That is why he will be punished now. He has done a mistake.
Okay.
So everybody who has tolerated that actually have done a mistake. Those people,
Correct.
I mean, they should have actually, if they were not able to do anything, they should have just closed their ears and left that meeting, for example.
Correct.
Okay. But they didn't do that. So that is why they will all be punished. We will see how Veerabhadra will punish all of them. Right? So the Vedas give the eternal regulative principles for the auspicious advancement of human civilization. And the strong evidence of this principle is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is called as Janardana. So each and every verse is so beautiful here. So much of learning is there. Extraordinary learning. So here, very nicely, Bhrigu is giving some arguments. Arguments are nice, but his stand was wrong. He not retaliating to Daksha was wrong, but his arguments are very beautiful. Each and every verse is like a gem, whatever he's speaking right now here. He's saying that the Vedas are actually very, very nice principles for regulative advancement. Right? This is a regulative advancement. That's why Krishna is called as Janardana, well-wisher of all the living entities. Right? So the Vedic principle of the Varnashrama Dharma has been beautifully designed. So step by step, we are getting purified. We just have to simply take it. Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasa. Right? When we take to this, we become purified. So the purification is happening automatically. And when we do work for Krishna, then purification is happening. Then slowly we will become attached towards the story of Krishna. Then slowly the detachment will start. When we become attached to Krishna, detachment will start. Then we will become completely detached from material desire and we will go back to Godhead. So this may take multiple lifetimes or single lifetime, depending upon how soon we get the shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. So based on that, it will take one lifetime or many lifetimes. However, this is a progressive path that is going on. So this is the beautiful part about the Vedas. Then he said, by blaspheming the principles of the Vedas, which are pure and supreme path of saintly persons, you followers of Lord Shiva will descend into the standard of atheism without a doubt. Then he says that, all the followers of Lord Shiva will come to the standard of atheism. Right? So it is like more or less, they do not believe in God because their philosophy will be Shunyavada. Shunyavada means nihilism. That is, everything is null and void. There is nothing in this universe. That is one philosophy that they follow. The second philosophy that they will follow is Advaita. That Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. Or they will say that Tattvamasi, that you are God, you are Krishna, I am Krishna, everybody is Krishna, like that. Everybody is Brahman, right? Krishna is in Maya. So they will say like this kind of offensive statements. So that is the problem with them. So that is a curse. And this cursing and counter cursing happened between Shiva's followers and the parties of Daksha and Bhrigu. Lord Shiva became very morose. He left the arena, followed by his disciples. Right? So then what happened? The sacrifice happened for thousands of years to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here there is a indirect meaning here that Supreme Personality of Godhead we are trying to please with the help of a sacrifice. But by insulting a Vaishnava, Supreme Personality of Godhead is not pleased. Because Lord Shiva is Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu, he is always the best among the Vaishnavas. That is why Lord Vishnu loves him very much. Right? If by insult of Lord Shiva, that sacrifice is not at all fruitful. This sacrifice is called as the sacrifice in the mode of ignorance. So any work that is sacrifice that is done in the mode of ignorance, the result of it is destruction. So that is a very, very bad sacrifice, not a good sacrifice. So they are trying to satisfy Krishna, but they've actually done the opposite by offending the dearmost personality to Krishna. So like that, then what happened is they were trying to do a bath called as Avabhrita Snana. Avabhrita Snana they do. Whoever has performed the sacrifice, they will do the Avabhrita Snana. So like that, it has happened. So, okay. So we will stop the class here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Very intense thing has happened. So it's the intensity is like more and more and more. It just keeps going. So this is very, very intense chapters. Yes, any questions that we can take up? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji, this, what is that? Chapter 4. Sorry, wait 1 minute. Chapter 3, verse 3. They say that we should not insult the devotees of Krishna.
Correct.
Means we should not insult Shiva.
Correct.
Then also worshipping and Krishna does not accept any worship without if we insult his disciples or his worshippers.
Correct.
Then that means we can even worship. There's nothing wrong in worshipping Shiva, no?
There is nothing wrong in worshipping Shiva. Even Prabhupada said you can worship Shiva, provided you understand the relationship between Krishna and Shiva. This is the
because
difference.
in fact he is the most favorite Vaishnava to Krishna.
Absolutely. So if you understand that Lord Shiva is like the principal Vaishnava, then you can worship. So just like in the Vrindavana, so we have Gopeshwar Mahadev. Gopeshwar Mahadev is the Kshetra Palaka of Vrindavan. So all the devotees will go and they will pay obeisances and they will worship Gopeshwar Mahadev. And in the Mayapur, there is Vruddha Shiva. There's a very big, huge Shiva Linga. And Praudha Maya, Yoga Maya is there. Praudha Maya and Vruddha Shiva. So they go there. It's very, very wonderful. So, and there is Harihara Kshetra, with the form of Vishnu and Shiva in the same Murti. So the devotees go and worship there. So the mood of the devotees there worshipping in Mayapur, when they worship the Vruddha Shiva, or the mood of the devotees in Vrindavan when they are worshipping Gopeshwar Mahadev is different than the mood of the demigod worshippers who worship Lord Shiva as an independent supreme personality of God. That attitude is the mistake, actually. There's no problem in worshipping Lord Shiva because he's a very, very pure Vaishnava.
Yeah, see, Lord Krishna says, Mad Bhakta
Puja Abhyadika.
Puja Abhyadika. The worship of my devotees is better than worship of me.
Correct.
Similarly, in Shiva Purana, it is stated that the best mode of worship is to offer oblations to Vishnu, but better than that is to worship the devotees of Krishna.
Actually, Lord Shiva says to the Parvati Devi that Aradhananam Sarvesham Vishnur Aradhanam Param. And he says, better than that is Tadiyanam Samarchanam. So among all the types of different worship, we can do multiple type of worship. Ghost worship we can do, or we can do ancestor worship, or Devata, demigod worship, right? So among all these types of worship, he says Vishnu worship is the best. And even better than the Vishnu worship is Vaishnava worship. So that is why we worship the Tulsi Maharani. We are worshipping the spiritual master. So we are worshipping spiritual master Guru. Why we are worshipping Guru and we are worshipping Tulsi? This mood that, when we worship the devotees of Vishnu, we shall get more benefit, more devotional service, more advancement than when we worship Shri Krishna directly. That relationship we should remember, that we should not forget. So often what happens is we try to make that personality independently supreme. For example, Hanuman, dearmost servant of Lord Ramachandra. His worship is very, very nice. But then people, when they worship, they try to make Hanuman as an independent supreme personality of God. So that is a mistake that they are doing. That should not be done. That is again an offense. Right? That's an offensive worship. Yeah, that's the problem. Yes.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for this clarification. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Any other
Hare
questions?
Krishna.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for joining. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, I
Hare
hope you're having very nice, blissful reading of Srimad Bhagavatam. Please keep joining. Hare Krishna. Thank you. And I forgot to tell you. Yes, here is Gita Rising Star. That is Gita Level 1 course. Bhagavad Gita, Gita Gyan Level 1 course. We have rolled out the forms. Please forward it to your friends. And please personally tell them how you have benefited out of the course. Or if you can actually call your friends and ask them to share it, still better. That is how it works. You just have to forward it and call them and actually say, please forward it to your friends. Those people who are favorable, who are interested in learning more. Of course, they're very rare, I understand, but still, please try to inspire people and do this service for Krishna. Do this service for Krishna. Okay? Hare Krishna. Thanks.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I just want to know any suitable time for people living in America and all.
7 p.m. IST is what?
Yeah.
What is their time zone?
That is for my daughter. I'm asking that.
What is your time zone?
6 o'clock in the morning.
6 is too early for them?
Yeah, too early for. Yeah, they're working also, no? In any evening time will be like 7 to 8 or 8 to 9 and like that. Any time will be comfortable.
At what time in the evening they will be free?
Yeah, like our 10 o'clock.
Yes. Course timings is 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. IST, Surya Prabhu.
Yeah.
And the dates are May 29th to June 24th. May 29th to June
Have
24th.
time allotment, then it will be, I think, better for them to select,
What, Mataji?
No, you have kept only one slot, no? Like 7 to 8.
Only one slot we have. Actually, I was proposing this idea that we want to have multiple time zones. Maybe in future we'll do that.
Yeah.
We want to support multiple time zones and give it to people from across NRIs across the world.
I'm telling my daughter to join. That's why I'm asking, in fact.
Yeah. At the moment,
Prabhuji, I got one idea.
Yes, ma'am.
You can share the recorded version to them.
Yeah, that's also a nice idea. Actually, yeah, we can
For the
make a
for the time
recording,
being.
and for them, at that time, we can just share the recording and we can take the questions if there are any.
I'll ask her that, whether it suits. I'll ask her. I'm persuading her to join. Let me see.
Yes.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Okay, if
Yes.
anything, any other time is there, let me know.
Or else what we can do is that recording that day only, we'll put it in that learning management system software. They can access it at that time. At that time, we'll make it open. Whenever they're free, that time we'll make it open. They can watch that video. If that works,
Prabhuji.
you can check that. If that works.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Okay.